everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kristen and welcome if this is your first time stopping by. So as I kind of mentioned in my last video, I said I was going to do another Disney video next, but then I got this in the mail because I purchased it. I didn't know how long it was going to take to get here and I really want to do a video on it. So today's video is going to be a testing / review or first impressions of the new Morphe Jeffree Star brush collection as well as the sponges. I already wet the sponges because I didn't want to take too long with this video, but I was really excited about this. I really do like Jeffree Star. I know he's kind of controversial, but I like him, and I also really like Morphe sponges, and I have tried a few Morphe brushes, but I feel like this will give me a better idea if I really love Morphe brushes better than any other brushes I own. So it did have, there were two different sets. There were the sponge set, which came in this box and this little unicart thing. And it came with two small sponges. So this is the dry small sponge, and then this is the expanded small sponge. So this is what I'm going to be using for concealer today. And then this is the big sponge, which you can kind of tell based on the packaging. Maybe not, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it has definitely grown in size from getting wet. So I'm very excited to try these out. And then for the brushes, it came with this sleeve that says Morphe X or times Jeffree Star. It comes in this pink brush kind of bag, I guess you would say, cosmetic bag. It does open not completely flat like the, well, I guess it can, but not, it doesn't open like the square one that came out with Jacqueline's collection, but it has the little sleeve protector, and then the brush comes in the package, the plastic packaging, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 brushes in here. So I'm going to try to use as many of these brushes as I can. However, I don't use a ton of brushes in my daily routine anyway, and I'm going to be using these products with my daily routine to get a general idea. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So first, of course, I have to pull my hair back because no video or makeup video of mine is complete without my bow headband. This does tell you what kind of brushes are in the set, so I will be telling you as I go along, and I'm gonna have to try to figure out what brushes I'm gonna use for what, because I have a pretty specific brush routine with my everyday makeup set. Moving your view a little bit. I'm gonna prime my face with the Selfie Ready Mattifying Primer from, what brand is this again? Joa. So I'm just putting that on my face. Just so you know, if you hear wind, we are getting a bomb cyclone windstorm today. So I don't know exactly what that means, but I do know that the winds are gusting above 50 miles an hour. So if you hear crazy wind, that is why. For foundation, I've really been loving the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Wear foundation. Mine's in the shade 425, or let's see what this is called. Is there a name of the foundation shade? Might just be the number, but really been loving this. It's kind of liquidy, and I don't put a ton on because I like for it kind of to last as much as it can throughout the day. And I feel like sometimes when I cake too much on, it actually can make it worse. And then I'm using the Morphe X Jeffree Star sponge, and this, I wonder if there's a specific thing here. This is the highlight and contour, but I'm using this from foundation because I only use sponges for foundation and concealer. So I'm sure that you can do other things with it, but I'm going to show you what I would do with it. So I always do this with my other sponges, no matter what the purpose is. I just like how, like, when I put this foundation on, it just literally melts into my skin. I don't have to do any extra finessing with it to make it look good. The sponge is doing a good job, so I can't complain too much with the application. I will try other techniques with it if you guys really care to see it, but if you are like me, you're pretty much getting the sponge set so you can use it for like foundation and whatever. And of course you have to get the sponge set just because the sponges are pink. I mean, come on. Okay, so I think my foundation is all blended in. Looks good. For concealer, as always, using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. Mine is in the shade Light. I'm going to put this under my eyes, and I'm going to use the smaller highlight contour sponge to blend this in. But once you put that water on it, it's not really that tiny. I've been trying to be a little bit more minimal with my concealing routine. So usually I would put like concealer here and down my nose and around here and whatever. But I've really just been trying to keep it pretty minimal. So I'm using the pointy side here to blend this in under my eyes. Can you guys hear that wind? I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but It's crazy. So it blends it out. It does take a little bit longer to blend out concealer with a smaller sponge like this one, but it does a good job. I'm bringing whatever excess product I have around the areas that I could use a little extra concealing, like around the edges of my mouth. Now, out of this set, there's not really a setting brush, so I'm going to use my normal brush that I use to set my under eyes. Okay, so using my NYX HD setting powder, I'm just going to set, this is the one in the shade Banana, I'm just going to set that concealer in place. My under eye circles are prime today, so we're just gonna move past that, and I'm not adding extra product, so it can just deal, I guess. And I'm just gonna put this everywhere that I just put some concealer, or where I want to brighten. Okay, now I'm using my Stay Matte powder, and for that I'm going to use the brush that's in here that's called the Size Queen brush. Does it have the number on it? Yeah, this is the JS1. Now, this is a little bit more dense than I would usually use, but I will use it for this purpose of the video. First, can we talk about the design of these brushes? You've got this kind of chrome pink handle with the pink bristles, and then the other ones that don't have the pink bristles have white, and I think that they're very cute and very girly. So I'm just picking up some of that powder, and I'm just going to kind of pat this into the face. I wonder if over time this will kind of fluff out a bit, you know what I mean? Because usually for this process I use a very big brush, so I get kind of a light dusting, but for the purpose of this video I'm using this one, and this is very dense. I would not say that this is the softest brush, I would not say that this is the softest brush I've ever used, but it's definitely getting the job done. So that is that brush. Now next I'm going to do a little bit of bronzing here. I do have a contour brush in this set here. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to use. So for bronzing I would probably actually use this brush, but for contouring, because there is a very specific contour brush in here, I will use the contour brush to really get into those crevices. So for contouring, I'm going to use the Hoola bronzer from Benefit with the contour brush, and I will do that for these small areas that I'm going to contour, and then I will bronze on top of it. So this is a very small, tiny, densely packed brush, but this does do a good job at getting into that area where I need to contour, so that is a very, very nice element or quality point, design point, I guess you would say, to this brush. Now it does make it a little bit harder to blend because I usually do like the line and then I'll blend it out pretty extensively, but we will see. So I'm just putting this into my regular area on my face. I usually go around the temples. I like to really shade the outside parts of my face with contour, just kind of bringing the focal point to the center of my face is the goal there. Actually, for the other thing, yeah, I'm still gonna do my normal routine with this. So I'm gonna take my bronzer, and lately I've been using the City Bronzer by Maybelline. This is very, very nice. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it, but I don't mind that. So I'm taking a little bit of that, and I'm just kinda gonna run over my cheeks with it, sides of my face. Really like this brush. This is very soft, fluffy. I almost think this would have been better for powder, but that is okay by me. And then I'm going to take my favorite brush, which I use all the time, if I can find it. This is the Complexion Buffer in Full Shadow. So I actually use the full shadow for my nose contour, and I do a very subtle shading. Now my nose doesn't need like super crazy contour. It just kind of gets hidden when I do my makeup, so it's more for that point. Next, I'm going to take the Morphe Jeffree Star number JS4. This is the Fly High brush, aka the highlighting brush, which is a kind of pointed, it doesn't look like any brush that they actually have made before, so I do like this. And I'm going to take my favorite, my recent favorite, which is my Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold palette, and I take a couple of shades in here. So I'm going to take the Rose Gold one and the original Bar of Gold. So I take those two, I do a nice mixture, and then holy crap, yeah, this packs on that highlight beautifully. I am not going to complain, not even a little bit, about that highlight, because that is beaming. You guys see that? Holy crap. So this brush is my favorite so far, but as most cases, highlighting brushes are the best anyway because they make you look beautiful with highlight. So I'm just putting that down my nose as well. I like that you can really get on the tip with the point part of the brush, so that's really nice. So there's not really a blush brush in this set, so I am going to use my regular blush brush, and I'm going to take a Tarte blush. This is in Frisky. I love my Tarte blushes so much. So I'm just going to put this on my cheeks, give myself a little bit of color here. There's some crazy stuff happening. It's really bad winds actually, so just so you guys all know. So next I just am going to prime my lid. I'm going to use my Tarte Double Duty Eye Primer. This is just a kind of nude primer stick. Blend this out with my finger. Now for eyeshadow, I'm actually going to just stick with a neutral palette that I know I like. Use the Maybelline Lemonade Craze eyeshadow palette. So we've got some crease brushes. We've got an angled brow brush, which I probably won't be using today just because I don't really use brow brushes. But I will use these two crease brushes and just do a very washed out kind of crease, very simple look today. So first I'm going to use the fluffier brush. This is the JS5 brush, which is the Crease Queen brush. I'm going to take this color in this palette called Sherbet, which is kind of like a neutral color. I'm just going to do a wash over the lid with this because my crease and the lid need to be set from the primer. Just kind of run that over there. Now I always find with any crease brushes that they get better as you use them because they start to kind of fluff out a little bit. When they first come out and they're like super narrow like this, it's kind of hard to use them, to be honest. I'm just use the same brush. I'm gonna go into the color called Sweet Tea, which is my neutral brown. And I'm gonna run this all over the lid and into the crease, kind of as like a wash of crease color here, okay? Going in with Sweet Tea, I'm also gonna go under the eye with the same color, the same brush. This does make blending really easy, so if you're new to makeup, then you could really use a brush set like this. It has pretty much all the essentials you need. Now, going into the more fine, smaller brush, this is called the Rule Blender brush. This is JS6. I'm going to take the color called Old Fashioned. I'm going to bring this on the outer half of the lid and into that crease, giving my eye a little bit more shape. Now, this could also be a shader brush or a blender brush because of the flat side and then the kind of rounded point. Again, I'm just doing a very simple look because I wanted to do something that I would do on a daily basis to really test this out. So I'm really bringing that color around, kind of making my eyes look a bit rounder. Taking that same color, Old Fashioned, bringing that a little bit on the outer half of the lower lash line to kind of make the eyes again appear rounder. So that's literally all I'm doing for eyeshadow today. I will show you really quickly what I would do with the spoolie. I'll just use the spoolie for the purpose of the video, but I would use the spoolie obviously for my eyebrows. If you have lash extensions, you could use this for your lash extensions. The spoolie is pretty firm and I feel like it'll have a pretty good lasting capacity. It's actually quite nice. So I'm going to finish up my face off camera and then come back and give you guys my final thoughts on the collection. Okay, so final thoughts. Really love the packaging. I love that it comes in this really cute bag. This is called the Starstruck bag. I believe you can purchase it separately. All of the brushes are very nice quality. I feel like they all have different variations that you can use with them. Like this brush here, I feel like you could use in multiple different ways. You could do this for blush. You could probably use this for powder. You could use this for a little bit of bronzer. I just like that it has a little bit of a different shape. I haven't really ever had a brush that's kind of similar to this style. I also really like this fluffy brush. I feel like this would be good for powder, for blush, for bronzer. I really liked using this for bronzer today, so big fan of that. The contour is nice. I don't know how frequently I would use this for contour just because it is so tiny and it takes a long time, but on those days that I really want to be precise with my contour, I feel like this will do a really good job. The eye brushes are beautiful. The highlighter brushes are my favorite, or the highlighter brush. So if you have to just buy one individual brush, I would definitely recommend the Fly High brush because that applied my highlighter stunningly and it was beautiful and I absolutely loved it. So overall, I really think that this brush set is very nice. And the actual blending brushes, or not brushes, the sponges are so good. Really love this bright pink color, bubblegum pink. It's like the perfect Jeffree Star color. And the two smaller sponges are awesome to get into those smaller areas that are a little bit harder to get to. And I highly recommend this set. I believe the sponge set retails for $16. I think the $16 price tag is really good for your starting sponge kit, so I highly recommend that. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was somewhat helpful for you guys who are considering purchasing this. I do know that the collection is being restocked. I don't know if it already has been when this video goes up or if it's coming up, but I will try to update you guys in the comments section down below, or the info box down below, I mean. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys again. Have a great day. Bye, guys.